What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of the CubCast. I'm very excited to be back inside the building. Again, I want to apologize for the lack of videos over the last couple of days. We've still been uploading every day, but we haven't been uploading in the mass that we normally do. Apologies, I've been super busy putting the radio studio together, and I've been super busy with all of the things inside the studio, getting things sorted and stuff like that, like sorting tech systems out and things. So apologies, my head has been very full. I haven't been able to focus entirely on videos, but we are back with a very interesting news story today. So big up each and every one of you who is joining us on this journey. It's so enjoyable to see how much you guys are enjoying the channel, and it's been a very enjoyable journey over the last couple of years, I've got to say. It's great to see so many of you getting involved in as many ways as you can. The interview we put up today with Asha is now available to view on the channel as well from The Breakfast Show. That's the sort of stuff we're dealing with, so you can understand there's quite like a high caliber of things we need to be looking at. But let's jump straight into today's news story, which I am very excited to discuss, and that is, of course, that interview between Burna Boy and, of course, Trevor Noah on The Daily Show. The footage is up to view now. It's around a 10-minute interview. I sat down and made a load of notes off the back of what we can kind of gain from this interview. It's not the first time he's been on the show either. He did go on there to promote African Giant back in 2019, I believe it was, so it's not the first time these two have kind of met up on screen. But I want to say, first of all, I'm a big fan of Trevor Noah. I love the way that he presents. I think he's such a class act as a presenter. He's very clinical with the way that he presents. He's able to kind of get a point across by folding elements of comedy into the way that he kind of tells stories, and he's able to kind of really hammer a point home by the way that he actually does this. It's such an enjoyable thing to watch. It is genuinely like watching mastery in motion when it comes to presenting. He's someone that I aspire to kind of emulate in the way that I present stuff. He's so clinical at the way that he explains stories, and I think this interview is a good example of how good he is in an interview scenario as well. Very much carries the entire conversation and allows Burna the kind of space to maneuver, and it's a very important thing as an interviewer to be able to do that. So the first thing that gets discussed is discussing kind of Burna's success, and Burna not really understanding why people are surprised, and Trevor goes on to kind of explain it's the first time, obviously, that we've seen Nigerian acts penetrating the American market in this kind of way. This is all along the topic of basically Burna selling out the Madison Square Gardens venue and being the first Nigerian act to do so. And Trevor basically goes on to explain it's such a big deal because so long the world has been controlled essentially by kind of American interests and American media. And this is one of the first times we're actually seeing, more than anything else, the world kind of shift to where other countries are actually the acts that are being the headline acts. And even people like Beyonce, people like Justin Bieber, like all of these different massive international acts actually jumping onto the sounds that are coming out of Africa right now. So it's a very kind of interesting debate they get into. And then alongside that as well, there's a really funny clip on this interview around Burna basically saying, I want a drink, can I have a drink? Like, it's a very funny clip. I won't go into it because I'll explain it terribly and I'll butcher the funny bits of it. But it is a very funny clip. As I said, I'll leave the link to the interview in the comment section down below. Do go and give it a quick watch. It's great to see Burna in this kind of environment, man. I think he thrives in these interview scenarios. He comes across so well, but then we get into the topic that we are here to discuss in a lot of detail. So he teases the date for his upcoming album. He basically says along the lines of, it's a day that everyone kind of celebrates themselves on. It's a day that everyone has. It's not like a work-based day because not everyone in the world has a job, but it's a day that every single person in the world has their own one of. And a lot of people have very quickly summarized that this means it's his birthday. And that is July the 2nd, I believe. So that is when we are looking at the album potentially dropping. This is the kind of general date I'm seeing online. I've done a bit of research and everyone seems to be pointing towards this same date. And there's a few things I want to discuss about this Burna album. Obviously, he has made a big move into America recently. Selling out Madison Square Gardens is no mean feat. It's a huge deal. Any artist selling out Madison Square Gardens is a huge deal. Like, it's one of the biggest and most prestigious venues on the planet. To be able to sell it out, incredible. And it's a massive feat for Burna Boy, and you've got to kind of take your hat off to him and give him his flowers, because this is a truly spectacular thing. Again, being the first Nigerian act to do it shouldn't be as big a deal as it is, but it is a big deal. And it's really interesting to kind of hear how the album then gets discussed. There's obviously the Ed Sheeran feature feature, which has been teased. We've seen clips of the pair of them in the studio together. We can only presume that is going towards BURNA's album. Obviously, Ed Sheeran's album came out moderately recently, so I'm assuming that's going towards that. But what other kind of high-level features will we see? Will we see, for instance, Justin Bieber turning up? We know these two have collaborated a lot in the past. Will we see the likes of, I don't know, a Jason Derulo, a Drake, or someone along these lines, these massive international kind of R&B/rap performers? And we know BURNA has been putting together these sort of international collaborations for a long time. It's very interesting to see as well. We've seen BURNA getting into the studio with a number of different people. Obviously, he was recently in the studio with Asake for the official remix of Sungba. It would be interesting maybe if they were actually putting together a collaboration for BURNA's album as well. You never know, but something I have clocked with BURNA Boy is he does tend to do kind of collaborative swaps. Like, he was on Dave's project and then Dave and him worked on something down the line. Obviously, he was on an Ed Sheeran release and then Ed Sheeran was on one of his releases. Like, you see what I mean? There's a lot of back and forth. Same with Stormzy. They kind of appear on each other's projects as well, or at least in collaboration with each other. So it is interesting to see what collaborations we could see coming in this sort of scenario. Obviously, we all want to see the WizKid feature. That's kind of like the heavyweight kind of golden pairing that we want to see, and we know these two can collaborate very, very well. They've had a few big hits together over the years, whether it be Ballon d'Or or Ginger. Like, we know these two can work together, so that's one we know we want to see. But what other kind of heavyweights do we like to see on there? Are we going to see, for instance, a Fireboy DML? Are we going to see an Omar Lay? Maybe even a CK, who is currently touring America? And it then kind of ties back to this idea of, with this new success we are now seeing from BURNA Boy in America, does this mean that we're going to see a more Americanized kind of theme running throughout the album? Is he trying to crack the American market and really take it to a next level? Like, out of all of the kind of, I want to say kind of biggest artists in the overall kind of Afrobeat sound right now, I would say BURNA is probably the most versatile. We've heard him link up with the likes of Heady One. We've heard him on rap tunes. We've heard him on dancehall tunes. We've heard him do such a wide range of things. I think it's very much within his skill set to kind of create a sound that is both applicable to the current market that he's working towards and able to crack the American market as well. Clearly, he's having no issue cracking the American market with what he's doing. He's sold out Madison Square Gardens. That is such a big and difficult deal to do. I cannot stress enough how much of a big deal that is for any artist worldwide to be able to do that. It would be a big deal. So yeah, interesting stuff. Do we think there are going to be any UK names featuring on this project as well? Obviously, we know the relationships there with the likes of Ed Sheeran, with the likes of Dave, with the likes of Heady One, with the likes of Stormzy as well. Are we going to perhaps see a different sort of set of UK rappers getting involved in the project? We know that BURNA is super popular here in the UK. Yeah, as I say numerous times, he went to Sussex Uni, which is literally up the road from me down here in Brighton. So we know he does have really good roots in the UK. But it'd be interesting to see what UK artist he could end up collaborating with. Like, is he going to go down the pop route? Is he going to go down the much more sort of rap-inspired route? I don't know. But I definitely think there will be at least one UK collaboration on there, and I'm very keen to see this. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be July the 2nd when we actually see the album land. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. Who would you like to see involved on the album? Do we think that July the 2nd date is definitely the date we're going to see? Also, let me know your thoughts on the interview as well. Personally, I think he came across so well, came across charming, came across really kind of interested in his craft and things like that, and very funny as well. The whole interview is very funny. As I said, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page. Of course, hitting the like button, hitting the notifications button, turning them on, and all that good stuff, leaving a comment on the video, all of that good stuff. It's great to see so many of you enjoying the channel. We're about to hit 31,000 subscribers, so big up each and every one of you getting involved on this journey. I cannot thank you enough. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon, and we'll catch you all next time. Have a good one, and peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a Brighton town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.